Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys awesome interviews, and today it is an honor and privilege to have the drummer of Trixter, Mr. Mark Gus Scott, on the show with us. He's actually also a producer and composer, and he has a solo EP that just came out on Thanksgiving Day called Christmas Miracle, and it's out now. And all proceeds from the first single, Ave Maria, will be donated to Hope for Kids International. And I think that's tremendously an awesome thing to do. Plus, while he was a sophomore in high school, Mark received the NAJE Special Citation for Musical Excellence and was granted admission to the University of Hartford's Hart School of Music, where he studied piano, drums, trumpet, and a curriculum that included jazz, classical, chamber music, plus rock music theory and composition. So, a lot of stuff there. Mark, how's it going, my man?
Johnny, you sure know how to make a guy's ego. You're making my ass swell for crying out loud. How do you talk?
Hey, you want to introduce the person you got to the folks that they're not saying, well, who's this guy?
Well, I appreciate it, pal. Thanks so much for having me.
Not a problem. They're going to be like, does he work at Taco Bell? No. No.
Dude, I got no problem with Taco Bell.
I'll be either. I love me some Taco Bell. But, So, Mark, what's impressed you or excited you the most about making this EP, Christmas Miracle? What's caught your eye about, the most? I know you've done previous solo albums, but what's special about this one?
I got to tell you, this is the weirdest thing I've ever done, because the whole project came to me because I had nothing to do. Trixter was playing, and then all of a sudden, PJ and Steve went off and started playing some shows with Eric Martin. And Pete had a couple of bands around the Phoenix area that he played with. So I'm standing there, and I said, well, everybody's leaving me. What the hell am I going to do? I literally had nothing to do. I started doing some work in the soundtrack field, working on some video game soundtracks and special effects sounds. And I did some work with Pete, as a matter of fact, Pete, the singer from Trixter. He's doing quite a lot with engineering in the studio. So I used his talents to do some special effects sound work. And one day, I got to tell you, when you do the special effects sound work stuff, you do it for a few hours, and it makes your brain a little crazy. So he gets a little nutty. He says, "Hey, Gus, go get that trumpet out of your car. Let's go see what kind of sounds we can get out of that thing." And I said, "Okay," so I go get it. He puts up a couple of microphones, and I started playing for about 15 minutes. And then he said, "Okay, let's roll that back and let's see what it sounds like." Oh, we crank it up and look at each other like, wow, that sounds really cool. Now, I recorded trumpet before, but I've always done just background stuff. I never did it as like a melodic kind of instrument, like a primary lead voice. So, I don't know, I guess I came up with this song, Ave Maria, and we recorded it, and we really looked at each other and said, wow, we should really do something with this. Right, and so I had that one song, Ave Maria. I said, I don't know what to do. I have the one song. What should I do? He goes, well, Gus, get some other songs together and put out an album. And I said, well, by the time I get all these songs together and write all the music and all that stuff, it'll be Christmas. So then I said, wait a minute. That kind of gave me direction. So I really came upon the whole project kind of by accident. It was kind of ridiculous. Just the timing happened to work out. So I said, damn it, I'm going to do a Christmas record. And I picked out my favorite Christmas tunes, and that's what we're recording. And have a nice day. God bless Christmas Miracle. Here we are. It's really that simple. But, there's no grand plan for a long time prior. Just the timing happened to work out. So that's what really gave me direction. And I think the weird part of the whole thing is, and everybody's got to say the same thing. Come the holiday time, it's like the most beautiful time of year when it comes to the heart. You got the family around you. You got your tree cooking. It's just a very special time. And the soundtrack that goes to a time like that is truly something that's one of a kind. And I think that's what Christmas Miracle really brings to the table.
Yeah, it is. It's a special time of the year, and even and I say this during every one of my shows. If you know somebody that's out there that's lonely and don't have anybody, bring them in for the holidays, man. And you don't know how much of an impact that makes on somebody's life when you do that for those folks.
100%, dude. You're dead on the money. That's what that time of year is all about. Spreading, dude. That's a real major sentiment I totally embrace. Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned you worked with your bandmate Pete on this. How was working with this on him? I mean, it had to be exciting, going through the whole sound effects and things like that. But as bandmates working with this with you, how was it with this? Was it pretty smooth and simple?
It was a little weird, particularly at first for the both of us. We both didn't really know how things were going to turn out, even when we did the first single, Ave Maria. Like, I told him, hey, dude, I got this idea for Ave Maria. Let's try to build a backing track, and then I'm going to put the trumpet over it. He looked at me kind of weird. He's like, I don't know, and to be honest with you, I didn't know either. We really didn't know how it was going to come out until I recorded that first session. I recorded the trumpet over that backing track. I did half the song, and I said, cut, let's go back. I want to listen to it right now because I don't want to waste any more time if it doesn't sound good. So once we did it, and we heard how it sounded, like, wow, this sounds pretty cool, Then we started moving forward. Then I started picking Christmas songs, and then I did the first Christmas song. And I think Pete found out something very strange also. Recording classical music is not the same as rock and roll. And to be quite honest with you, it can be somewhat tedious, very tedious. I'll give you an example. The regular rock band has a couple of guitars, bass, drums, vocal overdubs, things like that. You're not talking about a huge spectrum of tracks. When you're recording classical music, just the trumpet section alone can have something like 15 tracks. Then you have your strings. Then you have your low brass. You have a whole reed section. So by the time you're done, actually with all the tracks, I mean, I have a couple of songs on Christmas Miracle. That's 65 tracks. So it's kind of ridiculous. And then mixing it. What a complete pain in the ass, to be quite honest with you.
I can imagine.
But I think that was the challenge. Like, at first, it was tedious, and then when you start doing it and you hear the final product, it drives you to do more and to be better. But I got to tell you, it wasn't easy getting there, and it certainly was a process for both of us. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, the engineer that Pete is now, he's got a handle out there. He's kicking some butt.
Oh, well, sure, yeah. When you hit the nail on the head, man, when you said you take rock and roll, which is pretty easy to record because you got all the instruments there and you can do anything you want with them. But when you go to classical and start to record, that pretty much puts me out of the old 2-inch tape days up to now when you do classical. You know what I mean?
You know it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm telling you, and that's what's really weird also. Particularly, like when people typically record classical music, they'll go to a big hall, they'll put up a series of microphones and get it all in one shot for the most part. Right. Maybe do a solo separately, but typically they record it in one shot. When I did Christmas Miracle, I freaking did it track by track. So, all the harmonies had to be mixed. Everything was done, individually. And I mean, that's part of the reason why it sounds so cool, But it was painstakingly, difficult to it was tedious, and to get it just right. And then he'd hear, oh, Gus, I got it. It sounds great. Well, we got to fix one thing. What are you talking about? It's perfect. So at times, yeah, we took breaks because you had to, man. But I'll tell you what, at times it was a challenge. But at the end of the day, when you sit back and listen, you go, wow, you know what I mean? To do something on that level for both of us, it was really pretty awesome, really just amazing. And we had, at the end of the day, yeah, we had fun, but, we had to take breaks because it can get nerve-wracking, that's for sure.
Now, I know this is a 5 to 6 song EP, Christmas Miracle, but are there any songs on it that stand out more to you as of right now? And we talked about this just a little bit. Was it hard for you to pick which Christmas songs that you wanted on this?
You know what? For me, it wasn't that tough. Bottom line, I knew which songs I liked. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. There's 7 songs in total, and right off the bat, I knew Silent Night was a song I've been playing for 15 years, 20 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was one in the bag. And then I'm a drummer guy. I had to do Little Drummer Boy. And that's actually a one that's, I don't want to say it's an original. Obviously, I didn't write the song Little Drummer Boy, but the version you hear on Christmas Miracle, you never heard one like that. It's kind of like the Boston Pops meets the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That one's pretty badass. It's a big dance number. It's got a dance tune, then it's got heavy metal guitar on it. So it's pretty wild, some really wild stuff. Full orchestra with a whole dance beat thing, really wild with heavy metal. It's certainly unique. but coming up, and then "Oh Holy Night." That's probably my favorite Christmas song of all time. It was easy to pick that one. Doing the arrangement, I think, was the difficult part. I knew what songs I liked. I wanted to, when I heard them in my head, to make them come out like the way I hear them inside. That was the hard part. You know what I'm saying? I had a certain. I think that holds true with any musician that wants to record an idea. I always say it's kind of like a selfish art. When you're in the studio, you don't do it for anybody but yourself. You hear that little sound inside. You want it to come out just right. So what's on me and Pete? I'm not going to say we had arguments, but we have this professional disagreements where he hears something, go, "Oh, it sounds great." I go, "Whoa, no, dude, we gotta do this." So he goes, "What are you talking about? It's perfect." I'm like, "No." Yeah, it's because if I didn't hear that special little something that I was hearing in my head, it wasn't right. You know what I mean? And I had to satisfy that crazy little thing for myself. And it wasn't ego-stricken, but if I didn't hear it the same way that I heard it in my head, then it wasn't worth anything. You know what I mean? It's very strange the way that is. But I think a lot of guys are like that. And again, it's selfish until it's done. And then when it's done, then you could share it with the world. And you really hope you just touch one person. You don't look to be the next, you don't care if you touch 1 million. You touch one person. That one person gets it. That's what really counts. I mean, that's what gives you gratification. The fact that so many people have really embraced, Christmas Miracle, I'm honored. I mean, it's awesome. My cup runneth over. But man, the biggest thing was when in the studio to make sure it just came out the right way. And you do that, again, it's kind of selfish, but you do it for yourself. You just want it to come out just the way you hear it inside. And I got to tell you, I really love the way it came out, man. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it. I'd be like, I was crazy about it.
Exactly. You mentioned Trans-Siberian Orchestra. God, they are like the Metallica of the Christmas orchestras.
Mozart meets Metallica.
Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, I'm not knocking you or nothing. I'm not saying it all. I'm just saying that it's just like, oh my God. When you go watch them, it's like a full-blown metal concert. It's like, is this Christmas? Really?
Dude, hell yeah, man. And they're unique in the sense the way in which they do it.
Yeah.
And they somewhat inspired me to do my version of Little Drummer Boy. It's kind of funny. I'm one of the few people that says, don't buy my record. I don't want people to go buy Christmas Miracle. That sounds ridiculous, right? All kidding aside, go on YouTube or go to my website and listen to the free samples. I want people just to hear it, and then choose for themselves whether this is something they feel is of value. I mean, all kidding aside, I love the way it came out. I'm so proud of the way we put it together in the sense of production that I truly believe there is no better soundtrack to the best time of year. And that's why I want people to really embrace that idea that, I'm not saying it's for all year. You don't listen to Christmas music in April necessarily. But I tell you what, come November and you start decorating that tree and the kids are hanging around, you're getting the first gift of Christmas and it's a late night, a couple of sprinkles come on down. Dude, I tell you what, you put this sucker on, you're going to be in the mood for Christmas, and that's really what this record is all about, and that's the kind of feeling I want to share with everyone. I really just hope they just give it a listen because they're going to taste that, man. It's really the greatest feeling in the world. Yeah,
we listened to it yesterday. Some of my little buddies are around the house, and I was like, I'm going to throw some music on and Christmassy, and I threw your EP up, and it was relaxing, man. It was different, but it was good. It was like, now this is some good stuff right here for Christmas stuff.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much. Again, it is specialized stuff. It's not necessarily the sort of thing you're going to listen to driving to the market, on a beautiful day. I think it's the perfect kind of thing as twilight starts coming down and it gets cold outside. You pop that fire up and the family's all together. Mm-hmm. That's the time to strike this thing. You know what I mean? It makes it really special.
I thought this was really, really tremendous of you and shows what kind of character of a human being that you are. And we need more people like this. All proceeds.
Oh, dude, you're too much, man. Come on, stop. You're making my ego swell even larger. I'll be 100% honest with you. The idea of doing this came to me because I had nothing else to do, and I wanted to do something with the horn at some point. Right. And Pete pushed me in a certain direction to do something. When he said, "Go get that horn," that's what kind of lit the fire under my butt. and gave me some direction. Then we thought at the timing, like, wow, this is perfect. And I got to tell you, I'm just so glad it worked out this way. And just by chance, the timing, that's what pointed me in the direction of Christmas. And all kidding aside, I think everybody agrees there's a certain time of year where music touches your heart. Christmas wraps it up, dude.
It does.
Yeah, that's what touched me about it, you know?
Well, this is what I was going to throw in here. All proceeds from the first single, Ave Maria, will be donated to Hope for Kids International. And you do a lot of charitable work, man. How did you get involved with this charity, or have you been working with them previously or anything?
I haven't worked with them previously. I got to tell you, I from the get-go, I wanted to donate something to charity. Number one, honestly, during the holiday time, that's what it's all about, dude, and particularly for kids. And the funny thing, at first I said I will always have a soft spot for the military. So I started speaking to a lot of high-level individuals in the military, getting feedback as far as what real charities are, not just necessarily visible charities. That's a key thing people have to think about. Sometimes we see a lot of things on TV or in ads, and they say, oh, that's a good charity because we're familiar with it, or they have a recognized spokesperson that says, oh, it must be legit. And let me tell you something. Not all that money goes to the cause, my friend. And I don't want to mention names of certain charities, but there's some very well-known charities out there that are making a lot of money, and that money does not necessarily go to the cause.
Exactly.
I mean, and that is for real. And the last thing I wanted to do was align myself with a charity that came out that, 10% was going to the cause and 90% was going to some guy's Cadillac. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I was really worried. Like Kathy Lee Gifford. I mean, I kind of felt sorry for her when that happened. She wanted to do some of these stuff. The last thing she knew that her clothing was being made by little kids in Ethiopia getting 1 penny an hour. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the last thing I needed was something like that. So a friend of mine introduced me to Hope for Kids International, and the craziest thing is, and this I find amazing, everybody who works there sponsors a child. Everybody who works there goes on the trips to places like Uganda, the Philippines, Mexico, poor, depressed areas to go make a difference in the village life. They dig wells all around the world. They dug 500 wells in villages that didn't have water. I mean, like crazy stuff. They have stories of children who lose their parents, and they put them through law school. Now the kid's a lawyer. People who lose their parents, and they place them with families, and they grow up to be something as opposed to starving and dying. I mean, really, they've been doing this since '73, and 90% of the revenue they collect goes directly to the cause. And that I thought was amazing. That this is something. These are qualities that most other charities do not have. And these are special people that are truly invested in the cause. I said, you know what? I can align myself with people like that.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of something like that. And I got to tell you, I always enjoyed doing charity. But, dude, when I sponsored a child and I got my first letter and a picture from the little girl, Kathy, that I sponsor in Uganda, and I got to tell you, my heart freaking broke. I was like, whoa. I can't tell you the most rewarding thing I've ever been involved with is Hope for Kids International. And the work they do is truly, it's the greatest reward I never thought I'd really feel inside. It's just so amazing. And the perfect partner to align for the holidays, without question.
Are you wanting to take this out on the road or anything right now, Mark, with this EP possibly or anything?
Well, I'll tell you what's really funny. There's a couple things in the work. In the answer to the question, yes, absolutely. But here's the problem. You can't just get 3 guys. Well, you could. It's hard to just get 3 guys and pull off a classical freaking live show unless you're running tapes and stuff like that. So to be honest with you, I'm somewhat hesitant unless it's done the right way. And to do it the right way, to be very honest with you, John, is a complete pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
The rehearsal time that's going to go into it, the amount of people you really need to recruit to do it right. Could I pull off a 4-man version? Yeah, I probably could, but again, it's going to be rough. And here's another thing. I also had the idea of playing to a backing track. Now, that doesn't necessarily, flip my head upside down, but I've been asked by a lot of people and reputable places to do it. Not to mention the Miami Heat asked me to come play the national anthem at one of the games in December. So keep your eyes on your TV because it looks like I'm going to be there.
Hell yeah.
This whole thing has spawned something new. And I tell you what, anywhere I play, I will be flying the flag for Hope for Kids International, drawing attention to eradicating some really horrible things for children all around the world and making the world a better place. That's really what I do it for, you know. So I don't want to say nothing's going to happen, but to what degree, I don't know, man. I tell you, I just don't know if I'm up to it.
Hey, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I always say.
But you know what? I want to play with Trixter. Trixter's my first love. You know what I mean? I'm a rock and roll maniac. We that's the kind of thing we flip a switch and it's on. This is going to take a lot of work, and I want it to be right. You know what I'm saying? It's
sure.
kind of like, yeah, I want it to be something special. But you know what? Maybe for next year, Christmas time, maybe I'll surprise everybody, including myself, and really come out with a heavy duty, you know, Christmas thing. Maybe I'll open up for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I'm friends with Chris Capri. I think he can give me an in, but I know they never have an opening act. They never do it. But who the heck knows?
Strange. Hey, things can happen. Things can happen.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, but again, if I did it, I want to do it right. You know, so that's the only thing. And I don't like the idea of running backing tracks. But if I don't do it that way, then you know how many people it's going to take to reproduce this thing live? I mean, what a complete pain in the ass. I'm just being honest, man. You know, unless I get a couple of guys that are really hot on keyboards to really bring it. But, geez, I don't know. We'll see.
Here's something that I want to ask about. You know, since you do play trumpet and other stuff other than with Trixter, support wise, is there a country that stands out more or surprises you, Mark, that you get support from that area with your solo stuff? Have you noticed?
Something happened a while ago, and I really can't figure it out. I got this surge of mail from, like, the Czech Republic. Now, I've never been there. I don't know how they really heard about me, but I got this mass influx of emails, requests for autographs and things like that, and I don't know anybody in the Czech Republic. I've never been. I really don't understand. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Poland and the Czech Republic. But for some reason, there was a surge. I mean, a strong surge, and I don't know what prompted it. It's like this elusive thing. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know if a certain article came out or there's some guy in a radio station cranking my stuff. I really don't know. So if anybody does have some insight, they got some relatives over there. I mean, it's like I'm like the David Hasselhoff of the Czech Republic. I don't understand what's going on. But you know, I don't even know the first promoter out there to go talk to. I really don't even know. So I'm still trying to figure it out. I really don't know. Otherwise, yeah, I guess if that answers your question, it's like the strangest anomaly. I don't understand it. I don't know. Normally, you know, there's a certain catalyst that typically you push to make something like that happen. One day, I just started getting a mountain of mail from these people. I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? I should do a couple of shows over there. I really don't know what prompted it. I really do not know to this day.
This really proves that the Czech Republic really does love Mark Gus Scott, not David Hasselhoff.
Dude, I'm not even sure where the Czech Republic is. I mean, I got to look into it. I do, but man, that's like the strangest thing that's bent my head. Like, normally you figure there's a reason for some. This, I don't know what the hell the reason is. No idea. Czech, nothing. I don't think I slept with anybody in the Czech Republic. I don't know.
That you know of.
I could be wrong. But I really just don't know.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, that's what I want to do?
I know exactly how it happened. It started when I was very young. My grandmother bought me this big parade drum. I think I was maybe 4 or 5 or something like that. It was that, and my mother gave me my first rock and roll record. It was Elvis's Golden Hit. So to me, to have that parade drum and crank up Elvis on my hi-fi, I beat the living crap out of that freaking drum, dude. And then when Hound Dog was over, I put the needle back, I put it back on Hound Dog, and I beat the crap out of that thing again. So at a certain point, I told Mom, I said, Mom, I want to take drum lessons. I want to really learn how to play the drum. She goes, now, she was a classical pianist. She said, well, Mark, if you want to learn music, you're going to have to learn the right way, and you're going to learn piano first. Now, she was right. Piano is the fundamental. What people don't understand, piano is the only instrument where you can see the whole keyboard in front of you, so you can have a visual reference to what music is all about, as opposed to just learning it theoretically,
right.
Which is pretty amazing. And so she's right. It is the fundamental instrument that you should learn first. However, when you're like 7 years old, you don't want to hear that. You don't give a crap about the fundamentals of music and Mary Had a Little Lamb. You want to beat the crap out of a drum. So, I ended up taking piano lessons about 3 years. And then I took trumpet lessons. So I played trumpet even before I started playing drums. But it all started with the stupid parade drum and the Elvis Presley Golden Hits record. And then I got the Grease soundtrack. I started to climb the ladder. And that was rock and roll to me until Meatloaf came out with Bat Out of Hell. And then I heard that, and I said, oh, now I'm getting into big stuff here. Here we go. This is rock and roll. Until one day, my friend showed me a Kiss Alive 2 album, and I opened up that centerfold of the album. I saw that elevated stage with the fire, and those guys are flying up high in the air, and I heard Calling Dr. Love. And then my whole world got flipped upside down. Now I knew something was going on here. So that's what I want to do. So that's kind of how it started. But, I was somewhat sheltered. I was in a private school. I didn't learn about real rock and roll or what kids were into or Led Zeppelin or anything like that until a little later than most kids. So I had some catching up to do. But, man, when I heard that Kiss Alive 2, and I guess it was around 78 that I heard it, and that's when things started to kick into high gear for me. I had a direction in life where I wanted to go.
If you could work with any musician that has passed away or any bands that you'd like to get back together for just a couple of days.
Elvis Presley.
There you go.
Elvis Presley. I won't even let you finish that question. Elvis goddamn Presley. I mean, if there was one guy I ever wanted to meet,
yeah,
that'd be the guy, man. And it's weird. I met a couple of guys. One guy in particular, Boots Randolph, was his sax player for about, he was the longest sax player he ever had. And he's the guy that did Return to Sender and stuff like that. He was, If you heard saxophone on an Elvis record, it was most likely Boots Randolph. And I got to hang out with him on a couple of occasions, and he'd tell me stories about the King and stuff like that. And I got to tell you, man, it touches my heart to hear everything about him. Really amazing. If there was one guy that I can hang with and do a musical project, he'd be the guy, man. Elvis. God bless him. Rest his soul.
Folks, this EP from Mark is out right now called Christmas Miracle. Please go out and pick this up and, download and purchase the first single, Ave Maria, because it's going to a great cause, folks. And, we need to help out as many folks as we can, for sure. So, Mark, how can folks stay in touch with you, buy this EP? Tour dates, if you ever do this, take it out on tour, whatever, but how can they stay in touch with you, my man?
Well, stay in touch with me, record, everything to do with me through my website, markgusscott.com. My music's Christmas Miracle or my other classical stuff, always available. Amazon, iTunes, Google Music, Spotify, basically everywhere. I'm also doing autograph CDs on my website and special little trinkets, things like that. You could always just visit the website, markgusscott.com. Always the best place to go. But again, it's available everywhere. So if you just Google it, you're going to find it. It's pretty ridiculous. And I've got some little tricks up my sleeve. We got more stuff coming. But I tell you what, for now, the holidays are going to be a real special time. And drawing attention for Hope for Kids International and the work that they do all around the world is something that's truly a personal quest of mine. I can't tell you how rewarding it is to speak on their behalf, to raise awareness to their causes, and actually making a difference in the world. Before
I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Hell yeah, man. We're rolling, right? So I'll just rip it up?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Hey, it's Mark Gus Scott of Trixter, hanging out with my good buddy John Marshall right here on BODS Mayhem Hour, so turn it up! Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Thanks so much, man. Johnny, it's my pleasure, bro. Don't be silly. Thanks so much for having me.